cross-platform podcast, where we discuss how to solve productivity problems across platforms. I'm Augusto Pinaud,
And I'm Art Gelwicks.
and today we're talking about what is coming. Episode 23. It's about what we want to do with the podcast, or a new way of podcasting, as we call it. So let's talk
Yeah,
about that, Art.
we've been kicking this around for a little while, and we completed 22 odd episodes, and looked at some of the feedback, looked at our own feedback and response to how those went, and decided that we're going to change the structure up a little bit. One of the things that cross-platform thrives on, always has thrived on, is the ability to take a topic and look at it from a number of different perspectives, to not get locked into a specific ecosystem or a specific silo. So with that in mind, what we thought we'd do is we'd introduce a structure. As productivity guys, heaven forbid we don't have a structure for something. So what we're going to do, I know, how we got this far without a framework is beyond me. I thought they just like spontaneously happened with us. So what we've done is we've created a framework where we're going to focus in three main areas each week. And we're going to split the show up so that on Monday, you get one part of the show. On Wednesday, you get another part of the show. And on Friday, you get another part of the show. And by doing that, well, 3 times during the week, I don't know if those are the exact days, but anyway, it doesn't matter. By splitting that up, it's going to allow us to do a couple of things. One, explore each of those areas in a shorter segment. So the 3 main areas are going to be the news of the week. And it's the news that we think, between Augusto and I, we want to dig into a little bit, that we think there is some relevance to our cross-platform listeners and this idea of cross-platform. But it's only going to be about 15, 20 minutes. Same with the other end, which is our tips of the week. And as most podcasts, we're going to have 1 or 2 tips each to help us really focus on, how do we just get stuff done at the end of the week and be prepared for the next week. And in the middle, we're going to sandwich a topic for each week. And we're going to dig into it for 15 minutes and kind of discuss what it means to us within our cross-platform environments. But by keeping those in those smaller segments, we're hoping that people can find topics and threads and content that they really want to listen to and is also efficient for them to listen to. Instead of having to dig through 45 minutes of podcasts, now you get a lot of little ones. So we're going to see if this works out. If it doesn't work out and we get a lot of feedback that says, are you guys nuts? Stop doing this. We're not going to change it until we get that kind of feedback, but we're going to give it a shot and see how this works. What do you think, Augusto? Have we lost our minds going down this path?
Maybe that's a possibility, but that is to be seen. What excited me about this is, and was something we discussed at length. We are doing news, and then the question is, okay, but wait, Augusto do this extended podcast called Anything But Idle, that we also do live and talk about a bunch of news. What is going to be different? And the answer is we are not going to cover multiple news. We are going to pick one. Exceptionally, we may pick 2. And we are going to analyze that news. It's not more about the news, but how we are thinking that may impact this world of cross-platform. And that's what make it completely different from that. Our topic on Wednesday, it's going to be a regular topic, as you said. And on Friday, I believe that sometimes it's those cross-platform tips what make you go, and I've been saying, coming out of the pandemic, this is the time to pay attention to the road warriors, because right now, all of us who are doing this hybrid condition are a road warrior. We are the ones that come into the back, who goes back and then work at home or working somewhere, and our offices are changing as the road warriors did. And one of the things that this comes as an important is, I know many people have yet not made that connection, that now this hybrid work style is similar to that road warrior style.
Mhm.
So how bring or help them bring for some people those connections is our goal with those tips. Let's discuss how these tips and these things allow us to be more productive.
Yeah, just a personal side thing on the tips. All the tips I'm going to be bringing to the table are going to be things I'm actually using. I mean,
Mhm.
a lot of times you'll get people who give you tips and they find things and they say, "Hey, this is a cool thing you can do with this," but they're not actually using it. So while it may work, it may be an idea, there's no practical connection to it. All the tips that at least I'm going to put on the table are ones that I'm actively using that have made a difference for me. And I know one way or the other, they can help people out who are
Mhm.
encountering similar problems. So they are truly solutions to problems, not solutions looking for problems.
And that is the other important distinction. The things we're trying to discuss, same as the prior to 22 episodes, are things that we do. We done,
Mhm.
you know, we have said this on the show. If you look at your office, you will find Chromebooks, you will find Windows, you will find Unix machines, Unix boxes. Okay. If you look at my office, you will find Windows, you will find Chromebooks, you will find a lot of iOS and Macs. So any that we come and discuss and bring forward are things that we do. We are talking about the dog food that we ate. This is what we bring to the show, and that's
Absolutely.
what we want to continue doing.
Yeah, this is 2022, and that is actually one of the hardest things to say. I don't know why I always stumble over 2022.
I tell you why,
It doesn't
because
sound
it's
right.
kind of like 2022,
Yeah, 2022. It sounds like I'm leaving something out. Anyway.
or hoping it's not another 2020.
No, no. Well, somebody was saying that if you mispronounce it, it's like 2022.
Mhm.
So it's the second. No, we're not doing the redux. I mean, we're not rebooting it. We're not. No, it's done. It's gone. Goodbye. We got to look forward, and that's what I want to look at for this year is truly practical things. I mean, there's two parts to cross-platform that I think are key. One, getting around this mindset of everything has to be either or. You can do this or that. You can have this or that. You can be this or that. Doesn't have to be. You can keep one and use the other and benefit from both. And we need to look at things across the board that way. The second is working less. Everything that I want to focus on this year is all going to be about ways to work less, to be able to give yourself the time to do other things that are not work related. I mean, we've had a culture so far that has hyped up, you should be hustling, you should be working, you should be, 80 hours a week, 90 hours a week. And I'm calling BS on that. That is nonsense. If you are working that long, you're not working well. And I think that's, at least from my premise, that's what I'm going to be looking at functionally, tool wise, technology, concept, topic across the board. So that's what we're looking at for 2022.
Yeah. And the last thing to add is the reason why we do 3 episodes instead of one episode with segments is time. When we look into this and study this as well as other podcasts, we came to the conclusion that our middle segment is on the top of the length of
Mm-hmm.
how long a podcast should be and people can really have to spend. So when you add two more pieces, it was going to be way too long. And what we want is that you can enjoy it. So instead of that, what we decide is to make it in 3 pieces so that way you can listen to the
Mm-hmm.
parts easier.
Yeah, the intent is you'll get all the same content in a week. It's just broken up in a different way to be more efficient for you. And if you're not a news person, then you don't have to listen to the news episodes. We hope you listen to all of them. We're hoping to provide content. And if you have content that you want us to address in any of those, you want tips
Please
for a
share.
particular tool, yeah, please let us know. If there's news articles you find that you're like, hey, this is something you guys should talk about, share it with us, send it to us. We're happy to dig into it. We love that kind of information that you wanted us to explore and expand on. So this show's for all of the listeners. We do it because we want people to be more successful and to be happier with what they're doing. And the more we can do that, the happier we are.
Yep.
So
So with this, follow us where you like to listen to podcasts, like us or subscribe to us, and leave us a review. You can also interact with us in personalproductivity.club. We are Augusto Pinaud and Art Gelwicks, and see you next time at your favorite device.